Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of War Commander Unshackled. The longest running bloody episode of YouTube series since I forgot to mute myself. God damn it. Now I fucked my own introduction, but at least I managed to fuck something this week. Other than myself. Well, no, I just fucked myself anyway, so fuck it. David, I saw that, and you're getting a slap. So we'll go ahead and introduce tonight's panel so far. We may get some more in during the show, but we have the man himself, David the Douche, Dark Shadows. We have Deja. We have the King. We have the lovely Lady Warrior. We have Mr. Lionel Richie himself, of course, Venom, and myself, the ever indomitable, the immortal Dr. Phil. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing this evening?
Howdy.
Good. Hi, everybody.
I'm kind of here.
David.
Blended.
Nice one.
I'm already burnt out. So.
Oh, if you don't say any more than 3 words this show, I swear to God, you're not coming back on. For crying out loud. So
okay, that makes
that
4, 8.
Don't you be fucking by the hand of Kalis.
I swear it's gonna be one of those shows, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of the last shows of the year, so everyone's doing a little bit. So we'll go ahead and dive straight into the release notes for December 20th, 2017.
Can you go one more, Doc? It's still too small.
For crying out loud. There, is that better, you blind motherfucker?
I was fucking with you.
Damn it, David, I've only got one eye and I can see better than you. What the fuck?
I was fucking with Doc.
In all actuality, it does make it better on YouTube, so go ahead. Can we get through this?
Yes. Indomitable, not abominable. I'm not a fucking snowman.
Okay, KS, say bye.
Doc wants to be a dentist.
I don't want to be a fucking dentist. I hate dentists. I go to the dentist like once a year, so I don't have to get the stupid cards in the post.
Mm.
So the following changes and no fixes have been applied for the Thursday. Poor Bernie. He's done it again. You're a day early there, buddy. You're a day early. I'm sorry, but it's Wednesday, not Thursday. Well, it's Thursday for me, technically, but it's Wednesday PST, so it's Wednesday and not Thursday. Operation Espionage. Veracraft is after the massive thorium vein that runs deep beneath the sector, but the vitality of such a vein... Oh, is that even a volatility? That doesn't even sound like a word, but okay. Could blow the sector...
It's validity. Validity.
And the short one...
Value.
And,
I know it's volatility, but I think he was going for validity.
No. We need to stop them before it's too late. Win the new caretaker unit and Polly. Polly? Of all the names you could have come up with for that thing?
I know, Polly.
Polly won a fucking cracker?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Our second single Alliance raid update. The following diamond tech is scheduled to be removed from raids on Wednesday, December the 27th. The detonator, Apollo, and Acolyte. General changes, fixes, and improvements. The issue preventing defensive units from walking through walls has been fixed. Health bars now show up properly after a single unit takes damage. Well, after a unit takes damage. Sorry, I misread that. War Rig applies busted status properly when using max level Death Blades tech. And the issue preventing the orbital and mini orbital lasers from firing has also been fixed. I want a mini orbital laser. That sounds cool as hell. David, what the fuck are you sharing? This is a live show. No. That appears to be it for the update this week. A little slim pickings, but they've fixed a couple of issues that were bugging the crap out of me, especially during the 3 waves of invasion I actually did.
The one that bothers me is it seems like the new Gen 2 units are able to shoot through or over walls, not the arc spot, but just straight out machine guns going straight at your units without ever touching the walls, and that ain't right. So if they fix the walls, hopefully they fix the ability to the walls block the bullets.
Peel's got it in the chat. Volatility is a statistical measure of the dispersion of returns for a given security or market index.
Yes. Okay.
It also means what he should have put there, and I mean, I'm not to put words in Burnys' mouth or whoever wrote this for him to copy and paste, but the volatile nature of such a vein should be much better than that bloody word there, because it honestly looks like it isn't a word.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand it. He's saying that it's volatile and it'll blow up. But I was hoping that he was trying to preface its value.
Thorium is a highly valued commodity in War Commander.
Yeah, so... I know I was reaching, but...
Okay, so shall we go ahead and dive straight into espionage? Or would you like to discuss Burnys' briefing? There's a couple of things we can do here. We can do either one first. That's entirely...
Well, you know, one doesn't dive into espionage. One slowly and calculatedly, you know.
Yeah, so let's do the briefing first.
You would like to go...
Let's get that done and out of the way, and then we can move into espionage.
So with Burnys' briefing, both him and Wrong Thinker sat down the other day in a sort of interview style, almost like we do on a Hangout on Unshackled on a regular basis, but out loud. If I don't send you the Hangout link, there is a reason why I don't send you the Hangout link. Don't ask. It's as simple as that, because I'm quite sick of that. And I have to say that now. Of course, Bernie is the current Kixeye community manager for War Commander. Wrong Thinker is the lead designer. Peel, why the fuck aren't you in here, you bastard? Have you unfriended me again?
I don't think he unfriended me.
It might be over some... Yeah, I'm going to go fix that real quick. Expected to be on here, and he's not bloody here. Get here, you son of a bitch. Where's my notes? There they are.
Oh, I'll be right back. Sorry, guys.
I'll get it.
God damn it, David. Sorry. I expected... Yeah, okay.
This show's gone off the deep end altogether.
What's
We haven't got started.
Espionage? Well, the definition of espionage, I can't even fucking say the goddamn word now, is to acquire information by covert means. So I'm assuming this is going to be acquiring information by covert means. And Godscope, if you keep saying hi to me, I'm going to put you in a timeout and you're going in the corner. So that, of course, is that. So we'll go... I've got a lot of notes in front of me from the particular briefing itself. Now, I went back into teacher mode, and I did say that it would be mandatory for anybody who wanted to be on tonight's panel.
Hello.
There you are, you little shit. Where the hell have you been?
Nah, that's the intro.
He was eating chicken.
And I went back into high school mode and beat the crap out of a skinnier dude and told him to watch the episode for me and to do other report on my behalf.
Okay, now that's the wrong way of doing that. What you should have done is gone and hired a Mexican to tell you to write his essay for him, and he would have written an essay to his essay.
I knew that was so coming. God.
Okay, I apologize to
Oh,
everyone.
The
honey.
joke was worth it. I'm
So-
just going to say, the joke was totally worth it.
Okay.
God's
Carry on.
I know you. Yeah, you've got family over, so that's why you're not on the show, you bastard. You've been out of here for 6 goddamn weeks, and I think I know. I talked to Larry the other day. I think Larry wanted to be on the show. I'll sort that out. I can fix that. I'm good at. If there's one thing I can do, it's fix things, and I can sort that out.
Can you fix my love life? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I would quite happily give you a trade on that one. If you can fix my family life, I'll fix yours.
Okay, you know what?
I would take
I'll
that
figure
back.
out a way to get over there, and I know just how to fix your family life. It's called. Never mind. The show's recorded, and I don't need anything out there about murders.
We can all top Dr. Phil.
For legal
we go.
reasons, War Commander Unshackled does not, under any circumstances, promote the use of shit.
Violence.
I'm just gonna stay
Violence
quiet
or any
because
criminal activity whatsoever.
No.
I'd cause too much trouble if I started talking and answered your questions.
Oh, hello, Fear, dear.
How's it going?
Yeah,
Hey,
blunt weapons are okay though.
Fear, I'm desperate to get this thing on road, but you know.
Okay, we've gone widely off track, and it's now time to shift the rails back on track. So Bernie and Wrong Thinker did the first installment of Bernie's briefing room. And I'm going to probably paraphrase what I've got in front of me because there's a lot that I marked down. So first of all, I want to ask you guys if obviously you did see it because I told you all to watch it, and if you didn't, I'm going to yell at you. But what did you guys think of the Burnys briefing room?
I thought it was very staged. It was like a written script, and they just talked it. It seemed very hokey, or it's not fake. I mean, it's written stuff, but it seemed very hokey to me. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Is there a
interview
translation
style.
of the word hokey?
Unauthentic.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I Wrong Thinker. You mean because he's been on the show twice.
Three
and
times.
He's been twice that I've heard him. I think the one other time I wasn't available to be on the show, and he was very personable and funny. And on that one, he seemed very stoic, for want of a better word. I think he didn't seem like the Wrong Thinker that I've come to know from Unshackled. He didn't seem like his little goofy kind of little self, and cracking a couple little jokes at the beginning, but after that it was just questions and answers and questions and answers, and it wasn't. I almost fell asleep, but I knew it was homework, so I couldn't.
My take on it is pretty simple. I will agree it was somewhat unauthentic. It was somewhat scripted, and you could see that it followed a scripted pattern. And they tried to make the jokes of segueing into certain topics, but it was obvious that they were going down a scripted path.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong Thinker did carry it with his his commentary and his ability to kind of bring levity to it, but giving Bernie the ability to, this is his first kind of foray into a video recorded, whatever you want to call it, promotional kind of Kixeye information view, whatever YouTube thing. I can give it to him that this is kind of scary and what have you. It was informative. I enjoyed it. It did answer a lot of questions that have been hammered to hell by the community, asking the same questions over and over and over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Certain things actually have a pure answer. So those kind of things can finally be put to rest. Yeah, it was very. It wasn't painful. It was short. That was a good thing. I mean, obviously, you can tell that it was scripted because they kept it within a time restraint. So they said, even Bernie said, "I only have a few more minutes, so tell me about this."
Right.
So it was short and it was to the point, and it was a good promotional thing for the event upcoming and some of the changes that they have in work, and a little teaser for some of the things they'd like to let people know are coming down the pipe. So for that, I give it good marks, but it was stale in a way as far as entertainment, but it was good it was great in a way as far as information.
I got to give him kudos though for a new, he just stuck his nose in there and came right out. We haven't had people at Kixeye presenting videos in a long time, and I got to give him kudos for that.
Well, a couple of the last time really that happened was Sulaco.
Amen. And Sulacos were,
he got laughed at.
A best a joke. Okay.
Well,
at least he's trying. At least he's trying. And
he got laughed at so hard while he was doing the show, and then the following day during the Unshackled show, we trolled him so hard he disappeared from the forums until the following week. Nobody saw hide nor hair of him.
But let's just say he did deserve that. I mean, 10K gold in like 2 hours.
He did.
Fuck off.
I could think of better things to do with 10K gold than blow it all on PvP in 2 hours.
He just should have jumped into a PvP sector, said who he was, got a bubble, and then spent the 10K upgrading shit in the base.
So see, he was scamming fucking Vanks in bases.
But
high level bases, he was like, "Oh, let's throw a ton of Vanks in there. It's gonna kill it." No.
Banks haven't worked for about 3 goddamn years.
I mean, I'm sorry, but that was the one thing that blew me away from that, was that he had no clue, and it told me he had no clue what units do what, and what to attack with and what not to attack with. It was ridiculous.
God's honest truth is he does know what the units do. He does, but he has no, or at the time, he had no real understanding of another player's design in base. All he understood was, basic, ticker tape standard boiler base designs by the team in-house. He never actually had to go against somebody who thinks outside the box and says, hey, you know what?
The thing is with the, I know this from previous incursions with the Kixeye's development team from Vega, at least. And from my knowledge of that, I think War Commander almost works on the same level. The in-house development team, it's all built by AI, and it's all done automatically. So what they're used to in-house is the same scripted bullshit. Rather than when you move from an in-house development scenario to a live PvP scenario where you're fighting against players with brains, it's extremely difficult to do. But yeah, as somebody, I'm going to put it out. It's not Sulaco's briefing room. We're going to get off Sulaco and we're going to move back on to Burnys briefing room and to the first couple of things that I want to bring up and discuss. The first thing on my list right there is the leaderboard.
Thank you.
All I got marked down is big changes coming soon. It's being built from the ground up, and it's all going to be consolidated into a single menu, and the functionality will work properly.
We hope.
So quit asking about the damn leaderboard.
I think I've said that every fucking week for the last
every week.
So what I am concerned about is consolidation and how that will affect the overall thing, because crunching everything down can cause issues. Not issues in performance and and functionality, but issues where you're going to have a lot of people up in arms because they're used to something already, and if it comes out looking different, it's going to scare them. I mean, look what happened with the uproar when they changed the menu when you leave your base to deploy platoons, how they reversed it all of a sudden. 50% can't stand it, 50% have been wishing for it from the beginning. So expect a lot of backlash up front. Kixeye, just let the seas calm after they
changed the leaderboard. I can't find it. Well,
it's upside down. This doesn't work.
At least the leaderboard will work when it comes out.
Yeah.
When it comes out.
there is 50% of people want it micromanaged, where you have to actually click every individual thing and function you want. But that's not, that's not very good for a system that's already overworked as it is with the things in this game. So having consolidation where you click one button and several things happen smoothly is actually something that you just might have to swallow and deal with, rather than having 5 different keys pop up that you have to, the leaderboard for invasion, the leaderboard for sector, infamy, the leaderboard for sector honors. Instead of having multiple buttons and tabs, it's easier just to have one thing and it come up with sector, and one thing come up with global, and it might list everything in the sector. And I'm just spitballing stupidity ideas, but let them do their work.
No idea really is ever. I consider no idea to ever be stupid.
If it comes out of my mouth, it's stupid.
No. No idea is ever stupid. Now, there are ridiculous ones, but no idea is stupid. Because anything can be capitalized at any point. Just look at the guy who built a fucking DVD rewinder, for crying out loud, and sold them.
Pet Rock.
The ridiculous things in life, sometimes they sound like the stupidest, but they're not. They're
Trolls.
DVD rewinder?
Yeah,
yes, it actually exists.
Real thing.
Yes,
is that why I was getting
and
charged
the
for for not rewinding them?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, back to espionage.
We're not
still
done.
in briefing.
Are we done with briefing yet? Not yet.
There's some stuff I marked out that I can skip over. They talked about Wrongthinker being the lead designer, and he was responsible for a lot of the units that come out. And typically he's talked about the starting point lately before the unit is even discussed or anything like that. It's generally what faction is it going to be in and what role will it fill. And the standard faction unit, the hero unit, and the uniques, which are the highest tier of units, and the faction is really the big starting point now, because they introduced factions to have more variety. And he goes on to state that survivors rely on numbers, the corpus rely on technology, and the sentinels rely on brute force. That comes from diversity and not pure generalist, like some of the units have been in the past. That can compete with other units on the battlefield. And lately, they've been designing more unique and distinct different units. I can see that alone lately with the technical being what it is. That unit is a generalist. It can do all 3 things, where one unit cannot. So they don't just want another machine gunner. Someday the focus is interesting and original. So that's where they're going on that sort of type of deal. And we can go on that more when we hit the briefing notes shortly. But I mean, I can say a few things on that. There's not a lot. There's some discussion between the two of them. It goes on my hatred of the faction. I hate factions. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them.
Amen.
I mean, you going through the faction stuff. I mean, I said it in my forum post that got ridiculously trolled by one dickhead the other day. It's like, well, you give us all these units, and then during the event, you give us a faction track. So that set of units gets slimmed down. And then you put caves in the faction wave. So that slims us down even more. And by the end of it, you're trying to drill a hole in the wall with a hammer and a screw.
I'm trying to drill a hole in the wall with a shaved down spoon.
I've always hated the fact that the factions limit what you can attack with. And back in the old day, I mean, if you had mega tanks, you were God. And now nothing, not anything they've come out with has the all-around capability that the old mega tanks and the old Hellfire Hellstorm combos.
No. See, but you're biting your comment in the foot right off the bat, because again, like you're saying, you're not just saying the mega tanks, you're saying the mega tanks and Hellfire combo. You're saying a tank and air combo. So I will say this. I want to just quick, and then I'll let you get back. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Go for it.
On both Doc's statement and yours. So that's why I want to get this in. I want to play devil's advocate and say, yes, they are limiting us, but I don't think it's the factions that's the problem. I actually enjoy the faction system because I liked having a storyline to follow, and factions are a key component in actually having a game storyline if you wanted to have one that made sense. Of course, this one spun off the rails long years ago. My problem with the faction introduction was the timing of it was off. They should not have introduced faction waves and faction tiers into events unless every single faction that we have, Corpus, Sentinels, Survivor, and Neutral, all had absolute equal units for both air, land, tank, heavy, and light, and troops.
I agree with that.
If the neutral faction, if you chose to be neutral, and you had a machine gun style helicopter, a rocket style helicopter, and a bomb style helicopter or plane, and then you go to Corpus, they have a machine gun style helicopter or plane. You know, if every single faction had one of each style of damage, maybe with different buffs and different usabilities, certainly different UIs, okay, then introduce faction specific tiers or even faction-specific events. But what they did was, in the midst of rolling out faction units, they introduced the faction-specific tiers that, like the one time, caught us completely off guard, where the only fucking air unit we had was one thing, where other factions had 3 and 4 air units that you could bring and use strategically to do different things. One to take out floating turrets, one to take out ground turrets, one to take out strongholds because of the different values of their DPS or their usability. When they stuck us with that friggin' event and we only had one air to bring to the whole gosh darn battlefield, it was bullshit.
I mean,
that's where they felt.
And we're still stuck in that same faction with that one damn air, those frickin' bone saws.
Yeah, well, that's
for the moment.
That's where they faltered.
For the moment, that is the case. Now we won't have another Survivor track for a couple of months. We're on Corpus this month, Sentinel next month, and then whatever they do after that is whatever they do after that. Usually they have all 3 available, and it's one of these specialized sort of event kind of deals.
The one I've always thought about, sorry, Doc, but is if you were not in a track, okay, you just plain old were vanilla, you should be able to use your tanks, you know, Hellfires, Hellstorms, all that, and those were your buffed units. But they don't do that. If you're undeclared, you're not a part of any of the factions, you should be able to buff the old stuff, and they've never done that.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, they've never said no to the idea of a 4th faction. But then again, they'd have to go through the Gen 1, Gen 2, and Gen 3 style of unit to be able to have it be on par with the current set.
Nah, I know exactly what they need to do for a 4th faction.
Oh, no.
It'll be called the Mega Vanquisher faction.
Now, on the other hand, I have to cut him slightly. I both agree and disagree. The Mega Vanquisher is a stupid fucking name. Now, Vanquishers, on the other hand, would be an excellent name because you could have that as a split-off faction for... We had the Survivors that split off from the old Special Forces. We had the Sentinels and the True Believers that decided to come out of there, and Corpus could be the one in the middle. So Vanquishers could come out of the Corpus.
Oh, okay, the Corpus, okay.
It could be a split-off faction. And by the way, I'm copywriting that now because I said it live.
Yep.
I clearly said it first.
Copyright it.
No. You said Mega Vanquishers. I did not.
Well, I'll take the Death Stalkers or Death Dealers or whatever the fuck you want to call them. Call anything.
They fix the shields.
I wish Kix would go back and do an event with no uniques. no Gen 1s, no Gen 2s. Let us go back and use our old stuff. I'd love to see some of these newbies. A legacy event.
Legacy
Yes,
event
a
would be
legacy
nice.
event.
That would be cool.
Mega tanks and hellfires and hellstorms and because I'm
build a
telling you,
bunch.
for those of us who've been around a while, we'd be kicking that event's ass. It would be
honestly,
so much fun.
Okay, honestly, if they did that and rolled their base designs and defenses back in tune.
Yeah, they would have to roll the base.
Tune.
Yeah, they would have to roll the base designs back to
Yeah,
where we could use those units. But my God, how much fun would that be?
I bet that would be
Not very.
absolutely wonderful. It would be great for us. We'd still have our workshop items that we've collected over the years. The number of people scrapping out units just to build these would be epic. They'd have to adjust, or at least give very fair warning, because the build times on these would be ridiculous to those who don't.
There's an even better way of doing it. Much like they did with the zombie track during Resurrection and the Nightmare. They gave you a bunch, and they could quite easily go ahead and give you single-use style.
Single-use Vanquishers.
Yeah, single-use style.
Single-use mega tanks, single-use hellfires. There's
no
Mega
Inferno.
No, for the love of God. I mean, we're not even counting the Legion, the Inferno, the Growl. All of that stuff is way gone. We're going back to
I'm talking
Omega Widowmaker.
No, we're talking Humvees, Jackrabbits, Challengers, Paladins, Mega Tanks, Hellfires, Rocket Buggies.
Yep,
and we're going back to
Mega
the original
Rifleman.
ERMs and
Warhawks and GATs and
mortar
just
teams.
Oh my God!
Mortar teams.
Mega Attack Dogs.
God fucking damn it! Shut up.
no, Mega Attack Dogs. That would be so much fun. I mean, and I just for us older players, I just think it would be hilarious. Now the new players have been probably saying, "What the fuck? How do I use a Challenger?" Be like, "Here, baby, let me show you."
Well, how many of us still have the tech to make it shoot air?
Me.
I don't know that I ever got it. I think that tech came out after I quit, so I don't know that I have it. But
I have it.
Do you know? See, you would be able to show certain players would have the equipment, but not the tech. So it would be great for those that could actually excel by bringing out a tank and shooting down a couple aircraft. And they're like, "How did you get yours to shoot air?" Well, 6 years ago,
it would only take about 10 years to take out a fucking Titan.
Well, no, they couldn't use Titans.
I remember doing it.
They couldn't use the Titan because the Titan wouldn't be in that legacy.
Yeah, it would.
Hellstorms would probably be
the Titan's
Condor. Yeah, we could bring the Condor out of Mothball.
Titan is still old school,
but it's not. But you wouldn't have the Omega or the Elite. It would be
the original Titan came out in the very first Shadow Ops.
Yes.
Yep.
No, very first Shadow Ops prize.
Okay, and I don't. I think that happened while I was away from the game because I left the game in 2013 and came back in 14, and that was not too long after hover tanks and Vanquishers come out.
I'll go look it up. But
go look for it. Titan came out 4 years ago.
It's been out.
It was long before Shadow Ops. First Shadow Ops thing was the Elite Widowmaker Prime.
I don't know. Let's go look.
But anyway, it's just a fun thought. I just think it would be incredibly fun to do a legacy event.
If nothing else, and I'll put this out now because it'll go down in the annals of history. But if the game makes it to 10 years of public use, it would be nice on their 10th anniversary to do something like that.
Yeah.
At
that
some
gives
point,
them another several years to figure this out.
Since we're on this topic, I know that the Titan came out long before Shadow Ops because I remember trying to fucking kill that fucking Titan back when you had the original wave events.
40-second special event in War Commander, so you're 3.5 years old at this point.
Yeah, about that.
September 24th, 2015.
Yeah, so
and they fucking kept putting it in the fucking wave 30 or 21 or 31, whatever that bracket threshold was in the wave style events. And before you got your hovers, you had to use the fucking challenges with anti-air tech, and that fucking took a million years to take him out.
No, I am reading that wrong. We got Operation Red Storm back in 2014. Sorry, I read the wrong.
I told you it was roughly 4 years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that was right before I came back, or right after I came back. I don't remember which, because I came back and
came out with the hover tank, the Valk schematic, when you had to buy schematics.
Okay, that's before I came back.
That when I started playing the game.
Dual missile payload, brimstone targeting, the original Viper.
Yep.
Okay,
That was the I started playing around when the original Viper first came into the game.
Yeah, you had to do it way back by completing wave 72.
72?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh no,
well,
the
good old days.
Wave 72.
Shadow Ops was introduced back in June 26, 2000.
Yeah, see, I told you, Shadow Ops didn't come out till a long time after the Titan came out.
The Titan.
June 26, and it was...
Pick up the Titan way back when was 50,000 XP.
Oh,
yeah. That was a lot of XP to get.
Yeah, it was hard to get 50,000.
Way back when, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember the first time I got 100,000 XP in an event, and I'm like, woohoo, let me do cartwheels now. It's like, what the hell?
But we've reminisced a lot right now.
Yeah, we have. Sorry.
Way back, way off the track, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's my fault. I just...
I know what they need to bring into the game.
God damn it.
Okay, so let's see. Where were we? Blah, blah, blah. Monthly event. Don't want to talk about that.
No, I don't want to talk about the fucking piece of shit that is the Chimera.
The Omega Chimera, where they could actually make it fucking a good unit.
Sulaco said that unit was awesome and it was going to be epic and super useful, and it never did.
And
My Chimera's mine's still level 1.
They brought it out. They brought it out and just completely forgot about it.
It had value killing troops. That's all it ever had value to.
So they talked about feedback from the recent events, and they mentioned on several occasions that writing out the feedback forms at the end of an event was a thing that they did pay attention to. Bernie said they had really great feedback from Operation Resurrection, but not so much from Thorium Rush, and wanted to know what went wrong. And yeah, it sucked. I hated that event. I scored less XP on that event than I have ever scored XP in an event. Even back when I came back to the game 18 months ago and I pushed my way through, I was getting more XP then than I did during Thorium Rush. It is by far one of Kixeye's worst events in the history of War Commander.
Agreed.
It's almost as bad as the Banshee event, and that event was pretty shit.
I agree too. The other thing they talked about that I found a real problem with was the scale.
Fix your mic, Deja. Fix your mic. I can't hear you.
Sorry, how about that?
Yeah,
that's
much
fine.
better.
Sorry about that. The other thing they talked about that I found a real problem with was the scalability and of the XP. You know, I found that the past couple events, I mean, it was a slap in the face. Go ahead. I mean, it bothered me, the fact that, I mean, the first couple were easy, and then the next one was like, nope, not that. Nope, not that. And
I want to say that's absolutely true. It's true on both sides, yours and theirs. They actually admitted and accurately. And Wrong Thinker spoke very, candidly and very, very, not over the top, overselling it, but basically, like he stated, if you had 10 waves in our new events, different from we say 50 waves or say 100 waves in the original event. So you had 100 waves. So wave 1 was say 1%, and wave 100 was 100% of the curve. When you condense it down, now wave 1 is 10%. So the curve is much steeper. It's not that you're seeing, and he did state this accurately, it is not that you're seeing any greater difficulty between an old event and this event. The difficulties are identical. The end amounts of attrition of damage that you're supposed to take, or the end amount of objects you're supposed to face is identical. The problem is you're reaching what would have taken you 7 or 8 waves to get to. You're getting that in the second wave. Instead of feeling the burn. And this is one thing that I wish that I was able to communicate with them. Obviously, I wasn't paying attention to have chat with them at the time. But what I would like to stress to them is you're absolutely accurate. We understand, or at least I can speak for myself. I understand what you're saying, and it is true. You've condensed and consolidated the event, so you're going to reach those key moments of harder and harder and harder battles sooner than you think. It is not any harder than it has been. It just feels that way. But what I'd like to stress is that in doing this, it is not the pain of going up against harder opponents. It is the pain that you take greater damage earlier on to a unit, and then the amount of time that you're given to repair that unit is shrunk in consort with the shrinkage of the overall amount of waves. What I'm getting at is, say it took me in the old event, it would take me 5 waves to destroy a platoon where I would need 4 hours of repair. When they've condensed that down to this 10-wave platform, or this 10 base platform, now I get 4 hours of repair in 2 waves, not 6 or 8 waves. So I feel, like you said, a huge slap in the face because my units take damage quicker.
To me, it was like, okay, I can deal with, 2 or 3 or 4 hours to start with. But then all of a sudden, you've got 5 times as many floods of waves coming at you. And the next thing you know, it's 2 days. It's not a progressive scale or progressive curve on the repair. It's kabam.
You're having to use the biggest stuff you've got to break something open, because their strategic capacity is so goddamn minuscule. You're having to brute force your way into a base. Because there is no strategic value in take the 80 from the last event. There was no strategic way to do that.
No, I mean,
less than minimal attrition.
Exactly. And when you look at it, the wave 80 was the very, very last cave base for the faction wave, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. So when you look at it, it was survivors. Wait, what was it? It was that one with we had to use technicals and shit?
It was the survivor base.
Yeah, okay. Just wanted to make sure.
It was all survivor stuff, and it's the same one where a bunch of people threw a lot of shit in there just to try and get the base done even once.
Yeah, I did it because I was rushed. Every time I got to it, I didn't have enough time to try to slowly take it out, so I just threw technicals and my war again and just kind of rampage through it.
Yeah, exactly.
But the point is, I mean, when you have, for example, we're using survivors in that last one. What have you got to use? You got you got dogs, you got liberators, you got hammers. You can't use bone saws, so they're out, and you've got a war rig and technicals. No one's using disruptors. Okay. So, and you got detonators, but they're pretty much useless in it anyway. But attack dogs, there's only so much attack dogs can really do, which ain't really much in terms of taking out bases. Liberators are all good for a bunch of different things, but they become very useless when you've got those fucking 10 million range warhorses. You've got hammers. Probably 90% of the War Commander community haven't even bothered leveling them up because they don't use them in general. So you can pretty much scrap them out. You got technicals. Most people will probably only have them at maybe like level, 13, 14.
I have mine at level 1, and a few other people have
theirs. There you go. Level 1, even worse. And then you have a war rig, which again most people aren't going to have leveled up. So the only real units they're going to really be able to go in there with are liberators. But you can't do shit in that base with liberators because you got shit spawning at you like every fucking 10 seconds, and then you've got those war horses, which exactly you got the nightmares, which just I'm calling them war horses.
Fucking
with a million, with a million range, which make it completely pointless.
The warhorse is the pink. And then the Longhorn is the pink warhorse. That's the tank.
Yeah,
the nightmare.
The nightmare thing.
Listen, I want your opinion here on the panel, but my statement is this, and this has been a tactic in the events, and it goes along with taking liberators and spamming them in the base, when did the best possible tactic for units in an event go from preventing damage to taking damage, scrapping a unit, holding up thorium to rebuild the unit just to spam it again? How the hell is that
That's not
a fun event?
That's not a fun thing to do. Scrap a unit to rebuild it to send it back in there to do the same fucking thing again.
I don't do that.
I don't understand why people do that.
Well, I do. I understand it because there are just times where you're just thrown up against the wall a little bit.
Your own efforts. And that's why you think the bloody event is a grind. If you're going out to find 300, 400, 500, 600 mil thorium to rebuild the fucking units that you just got blew up, then you're not playing the game right.
That only takes me like an hour.
That's an hour. Hang on a minute. That's an hour of time that you are not playing the event.
The whole point of that is
hold up. That's incorrect. Sorry. I just wanted to get this out. It's an hour of time I'm not playing Pokemon Go.
Oh, you know the fucking rules.
Oh, Fear, you did not.
Oh. All right, go ahead, Bijou.
I had to be virtually
I'm sorry, but I've actually done that, okay? I walk into an event with, 50, 60, sometimes 70 million thorium. And it's cheaper to scrap them and rebuild them and get right back in the event versus the 3, 4, 5 hours to repair the damn things.
And I agree. And I agree with that. And I understand the technique. My point being, why doesn't it should not be that way?
I agree with that. Okay, totally.
The events shouldn't cost you the point where you're stuck doing that, grinding out pre-event for Thor, and then grinding out during the event once the Thor bases come back on mid-event, in order to make up for the amount of time that you were somewhat screwed into suffering because you have to spam certain things in order to crack a tiny hole to actually use angles and tactics to finish off a base. I understand it. I just wanted to point out how agonizing it is, in my view.
In my opinion,
an event is supposed to be entertaining, not aggravating.
It's rude to me, okay? But I've done it. I admit it, okay? The other thing that kind of cross-brained my wire here was Wrong Thinker was even talking about, the repair times, and everything's like 9 hours now. And I don't, that cross-wired me too, because some things I'll put, a unit base together and I'll take 9 hours to repair. Okay, that's fine. During an event, why? I need those 9 hours, and I will be more than happy to burn thorium rather than take 9 hours to repair it.
Very, very good statement.
Yeah.
Because you brought that up.
Agree.
Because you brought that up, my take on that statement in the Burnys briefing, when he said that they based everything on a flat, full platoon of a unit being 9 hours,
with the exception of the technical.
With the exception of the technicals, because they always are open to exceptions. That honestly, and this is one of the few times where I'll be blatant, that pissed me off. No way in hell should every unit by platoon be based on a standardization of repair time? Every unit should have its own repair value. Those values should not be fucking ridiculous. And I know there are some in the game already that are ridiculous.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I know what you're saying. I don't want to jump on that bandwagon. Okay, now you've got 47 days for your mega tank or for your juggernaut and blah blah blah.
When you're done, I want a rebuttal.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. And I see the juxtaposed position of this. But my point being,
I have an even more opposed position to this.
All right. My point being, it's got to have an understanding of the value of the unit and how much damage that unit is designed to take and deflect before you just say, because you can only fit 9 of this object in a platoon, it's 9 hours, but you can fit 14 of this object in, it's 9 hours, and you could build a platoon of 12 of this item and it's 9 hours. I would rather see a rational understanding. And again, it would also add to people's, force people to reevaluate how they build platoons and what units they use. It would cause more strategy into the game. If a technical had, a full platoon of technicals had, say, 6.5 hours damage, and a full platoon of liberators had 9 hours damage. Even because a liberator should die quicker, it can't inflict things. You'd be more strategic in using it. A technical can take more damage, can take more shots. You shouldn't be killing it off, or vice versa. The heavier tanks should have longer repair times because they're going to last longer in battle anyway. So you'll get more usability out of them before they're dead if you're not stupid and just spamming them into death. Where a unit like a Liberator, which is going to die quickly, you might need to have the return of that unit back into play sooner, so their repair time needs to get shrunk so that they're more apt to be brought back to battle in a quicker pace so that you can use them for what they're better designed for.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and the floor is yours, Dr. Phil.
Okay. Now, the funny thing is, I'm going to start with my rebuttal by saying I agree, which is usually isn't usually the case to start a rebuttal from. And I do agree that having a standardized repair is both a good and a bad thing. Where in some cases you're looking at infantry with a full platoon of them being 9 hours, i.e. liberators at 10 minutes each. Now, infantry shouldn't have a ridiculous tacked on repair cost for a full platoon. Back in the day, the ERMs were this minute and this minute here, but you never had 9 hours worth of heavy gunners, for instance, or 9 hours worth of stingers. And the only time that started getting heavy was in the Special Forces era, where you're starting to hit the 7 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours, 12 hours. I mean, if you had a busted up Sheilatoon, and I mean completely dead Sheilatoon, that was almost 14 hours because the standard SF would be doing 45 minutes to an hour apiece. Mm-hmm. But Sheila had that tacked on repair time of almost 8 goddamn hours.
Mm-hmm.
That pissed me off. But the problem is, with standardized repair cost, is that they did not standardize gold cost. If you're going to do one thing and not the other, that makes you a hypocrite. If a standard gold cost for a platoon, like it is standard gold cost for a building, which is 2 gold per hour, which it has been since the game started. It has been in Battle Pirates since that game started. It has been the same in Vega since that game started. Now, the repairs for fleets in Vega is 2 gold per hour. The repair cost in Battle Pirates is 2 gold per hour, and there's no difference. The repair cost in War Commander is so goddamn skewed that it makes your standardized repair time look like a giant piece of shit. And that's the biggest problem that we're facing right now, is repair cost. Not just time, but repair cost monetarily. And Kixeye's game economy at the moment is so horrifically bad. I half expect the game to be dead before Adobe shuts down Flash in 2020. I'd love War Commander to go the full 10 years. I'd love War Commander to last until 2020 and move on to another platform and continue to be War Commander and continue the progression, continue the show, continue the communication. But at the moment, all it looks like to me that Kixeye are doing are finding more and more ways to drain as much money out of us as they possibly can before they shut the servers down completely.
I completely agree.
Yep.
And I do not, under any circumstances, like being robbed. And I give me one minute, and then when a couple of months ago, when I had an issue where Kixeye removed not like a base level of gold, like 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. It was 134. No, it was 184 gold that had just gone walkies out of nowhere. And I flipped my lid. Yeah. I was in PMs with Skipjack. I was in PMs with members of Kixeye wanting to know what the fuck had happened. Community support were as useless as they ever were and told me I'd done some bullshit and upgraded something, or for whatever reason that they weren't going to refund me my gold because I'd made a mistake, which completely was untrue. I flipped my lid and I was ready to quit because I'd felt robbed. And this is why I refuse to put gold on my account anymore. Any gold I get is from Kixeye. Usually from support tickets or some bullshit that they've happened. Oh, we'll refund you gold for this, and this. Yeah, fine. Job's a good one. I don't care about the gold at the end of the day. It's the fact that I have been robbed. And that's what this feels like. Every time I look at the gold cost on a platoon, and it's 35 gold for a platoon of phalanx. What? Why? Why is this so goddamn expensive when the repair is 6 hours? Yeah. It should be 12 gold or 13 gold if it's a little over or a little under. Not 30 gold or 40 gold. Or if you're going in your air platoon. I calculated after a pathetic attack by myself during invasion, and I'll say it out loud, I absolutely fucked it up. I blew up all of my air. And it was right as the PvP Omega Titan down, Omega Phantom, Elite Sandstorm, Elite Herald, Elite Blackout, half a dozen Bonesaws, Pandora, Dina, the lot. All dead. Oh. And by the time No, it was during Warpath. Oh, it was during the first... Ironically, here's the funny bit. Ironically, it was during the first day of Warpath before they took it down. And I coined the air repair. And I got all the gold back at 185 gold.
Ouch.
2 days. The time cost was 2 days and 9 hours.
Ouch.
That should have been 108 gold. 108 gold, not 185.
Yeah, they charge you extra per unit as on top of the standard time cost.
Which is another crock of shit. Yeah. Vega don't do that. Neither does Battle Pirates. But no, War Commander finds its way to screw you out of as much money as they can possibly get. And this isn't a roast Kixeye on their shitty economy, but it's going to be a roast Kixeye on their shitty economy for that one.
No,
because the economy is so ridiculous. It goes with the events. It goes with the gold cost for repairs. It goes with the upgrade costs and a whole bunch of other things. the in-game economy, and that comes into something a little further down, is so ridiculous that anything that comes in, it has to be economically viable for Kixeye to put it in. Because if it isn't, then they're not going to make any money. And then somebody gets pulled into Will Harbin's office and gets roasted or fired.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I absolutely agree. You're right. The gold economy costs, the repair times, they all should actually go in, they should work in unison. And they don't. They're completely askew of one another, and they find ridiculous overt values and things that have no value and overcharge you for things. And you touched on the bane of my War Commander, which is the gold cost for upgrading. And you've heard me rant before about adding used resources and it going up instead of just going down like it should. So
the one that absolutely slays me is the pop-up when you first come back in your base and you have 4 hours to repair and it costs this much, but yet if you go to your platoon that's damaged, it's half that much. Now what monkey's gonna go for the 2-for-1 deal?
Okay, Deidre, I hate to say it on that one. The pop-up that you get when you go back into your base is for instant without res.
Yeah.
That is why it is higher. When you go in and the platoon is being repaired, it is always going to be cheaper with res being applied to it.
Yeah, that's when
the downfall of that is for upgrading the units. The price goes up with res.
Oh, absolutely.
They do, since they skewed it. Because they want
the other thing is
they wanted to make the unit cheaper with gold for coiners. And they directed it towards premium.
Now, well, they also wanted to trap you into clicking the instant upgrade and blowing 50 gold at a pop. They wanted to force that. And they wanted to trick the longtime player who wouldn't pay attention and who would assume in the early, before we started promoting it and explaining it, and it went around the forums and everybody found out how it was corrupt.
In the early days, it was start it with res and then coin it.
Yeah. So those who were accustomed to that standard operating procedure when this first started occurring would click their res and then click gold without looking, assuming naturally that, it's got to be, instead of it being 50, it's got to be 48, not realizing it went to 68.
Mm-hmm.
You see.
Yep.
So
the other thing about the repair cost with it is 2 gold per hour per unit.
It's not.
That's what it is in most cases. At least with the Gen 1 and the Gen 2 units, it is.
But
then why is a Liberator? Why is a single Liberator? And I've tested this, and I have tested this to the fullest. Why is one Liberator 2 gold?
Because it's that unit.
Exactly.
By that.
Then why is a single? Why is a single phalanx that is 45 minutes repair on its own 4 gold?
6 gold. No.
4.
Yeah, but on average, it is by the unit. So if you have
anything that has a faction thing, anything that is aligned to a faction in any way, shape, or form has its own cost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That doesn't include uniques and omegas.
So it's 4 gold per phalanx. So if you have 12 phalanx, how much gold is that?
That's a lot of gold. That's 48 gold.
So, but the older units were 2 gold per hour.
Well, that's the point.
But it's by the unit. It is by the unit. It is not by the time. It is by the unit plus time per unit. So if you have 7 damaged phalanx in a plat of 12, 4 gold a pop, that's just wrong and kick out the eyes. So
that is completely fucked.
The gold prices for repairs is ridiculous no matter how you look at it. You can't justify it. I don't know the kind of math that Kix uses.
And the best way to fix all that problem?
Don't play.
Don't
coin
or play. in general?
I have just over 200 gold on my account. It's been sitting there for 4 months now, and it'll sit there until I decide to use it. And once it's finally gone, then that'll be the end of that because I don't coin anymore.
And but you know how to really fuck with Kixeye? Go play
something else.
Yep, something else. We want my.
I know where you're going with that. You can shut up.
But somebody did say in the YouTube chat there are people out there that are going to coin no matter what, and they're going to coin heavily. And as long as that happens, Kix won't fix it.
And to those people,
we'd have to all.
Thank you for funding my game.
Yeah, exactly. If all of the coiners would actually quit coining, then maybe Kixeye would pay attention. But that's not going to happen because they've got this war and they've got that war. And, you know, we got to go measure our dicks in this sector and we've got to measure our dicks in that sector. And it's like,
right.
So all you see all day is freaking, you know, dick measuring contest all fucking day. It's like,
that's the thing.
Christ.
Clans have called for boycotts for years on gold. And then this one clan will agree to it. And then this clan will agree to it. And then all of a sudden, the enemy of both either one of those clans will appear in the sector, and it's like and smash the shit out of them. Oh, it's like, well, we're on a boycott. We're not coining. Oh, fuck you! I'm getting smashed. I'm coining my shit, and I'm going to smash him back.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
They take advantage of this shit. Nobody can agree to say, well, we're not going to coin because the only way, ironically, as much as we do on the shows and people in the forums with constructive threads get on there and provide as much feedback as we possibly can, the only people that Kixeye pay real attention to, and this is no offense to Wrongthinker who's come on the show, or Bernie, or anybody that's sat and listened and read threads that mean a lot to people, they only listen to the money. Because it's bigwigs upstairs that make all the decisions. If they say... Money. Sorry. If they say by any reason, well, when this base isn't difficult enough, we're not making enough money, nobody's coining repairs, everyone's doing it for free, what do? They
freaking nerf it so that it's even harder.
I have to correct. That's not a nerf.
Well, not a nerf. Yeah, that was the wrong word. I'm sorry, but they revamp it and make it harder,
and they turn it up.
Yep.
A nerf would be turning it down.
Yep.
Turning it down would be perfectly fine because they've done that before. They've nerfed bases, they've buffed bases, they've changed bases. They change the metal base every goddamn fucking month. So every time you get used to one, you get 3 different ones that take its place by the time you got used to that one.
Yep.
Thank you, Shadow Killer, for that one thing where they made the Shadow Killer bases every fucking...
Oh, the Hannibal base for Shadow. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, you know, because we have a lot of people out there like City and Sai and a few others that go out there and they make videos to try to help us be able to beat these bases. And you know, Kix watches that stuff. And then, well, look at that. Look, now they can do this and they don't have to, you know, they might only get an hour repair unless they're, you know, a noob like I am. And I'm going to get 8 hours no matter what because I suck at it. But, let's make it harder next month. And then they change them. It's like, I don't even bother. I have not done Shadow Ops in like 3 weeks now, and I'm not going to bother. I am not putting myself through that BS because I'm not going to go through 8 or 10 hours of repair because I'm not as good as these guys.
Here's a question I want you to consider real quick. If you look at Shadow Ops now, you've got 3 different bases. You have the level 20 base, the level 45 base, and the level 70 base. Now, none of us can look at the level 20s anymore because they're all locked. They never used to be because there were players out there that would grind on the level 20s. I used to be one of those players way back when.
I was one of those players.
And now, when it came to the 45, way back when, the 45s were pretty decent for the medium-sized player.
Mm-hmm.
Even some of the higher-level guys that were struggling to do the 70 ops could go and do 45s. Now, I take a look at a 45, compare it to a 70, and think to myself, I could do the 70 much faster and with less fucking damage than this 45 is going to take.
Yep.
With the exception of one in the last year that I have seen, with the exception of 145 base, that was last month after the resurrection. That base I would prefer the 45 because it was easier and I didn't take any goddamn damage. That was the only exception to the rule. But in the last year, other than one base, no level 45 bases at all were designed for medium level players or players with not max level stuff.
A lot of times the 45s were more difficult than the 70s.
Yeah. That made no sense to me.
No, because I mean, honestly, if I'm gonna take the time to do the shadow ops, I'm gonna go ahead and do the 70, take my 8 hours repair, and then come back 8 hours later and do my other 70, and I'm done. Whereas I look at some of the 45s and I'm like, oh my god, I got to do 8 of these at 6 hours repair and 2. No, I'm good, thanks. The whole shadow ops thing is ridiculous to me anyway.
Well, the thing about it, this is just everything in general. It's repair times and costs, value for what effort we put in, but it is Kixeye and their time constraints that they put on us in the daily grind.
Don't get me started.
With the number of things that they require us to do to not only be competitive, but to stay current. Now, the old adage, you don't have.
My elephant in the room for the time constraint is the brand new boss base. There was no time constraint on the Herald boss base. There was no time constraint on the Jug boss base. There was no time constraint on the... there were time constraints on those bases, but they were 15 minutes a pop. And you could usually...
Only afterwards. When they first came out, they were always one hit bases, but then towards the end, they gave them like a 15-minute timer.
No, I never encountered that with the Jug. They were always a 15-minute base. Or the Hydra, for instance. Because that was a 15-minute base.
But, you know, somebody just said something in the YouTube chat. We really don't need to do shadow ops because, you know what? If you don't mind being a little bit behind, all you got to do is wait. Because at some point... Because at some point they'll come out in the event, or they'll do a, you know, if you're a coiner and you don't mind spending the coin, you can buy it.
Oh, you wait 3 months.
Yeah, I'll wait 3 months. Thanks.
It's not even 3 months anymore. It hasn't even been. We've just got the Omega Blackout will be coming in the event, and we've just got that now. That's just coming out. We've had a bunch of shadow ops in the meantime that has put out that other base. The Elite Blackout base. And a bunch of us took advantage of it. So there's always going to be, in between the phases for the next one, there's always going to be an opportunity to pick up those bases at some point in the future. Because they'll want to put a base out in between working on the next Elite unit that will drop after the Sea Squadron is finished. Which won't be until the middle of January. Maybe February, somewhere in that time. So we still got another month and a bit before that phase completely finishes. And another event in between. So you've got that to consider as well. So moving straight to the difficulty of the low mid couldn't reach the restart tokens. And the highs could. And he talks about the mid to low players increasing the shit out of the difficulty. The difficulty was a byproduct of shortening the missions, of course. We already know that. And the final decision was about the same difficulty. We've already gone through a bunch of this. In both cases, reasonable-sized QA staff throw units at the bases. Varying skill levels, try and play down, not use the best units. One person might not rely on unique and Gen 1 faction units, higher tiers, how far before they can hit friction, the graph set and the damage. Most have a spectrum more efficient than others. 1 or 2 efficient solutions. Handful is a good base design for defense waves. But he had stated the only reason why the restart tokens, which I hate this response, and I'm gonna say it. Right, with the scaling of the event. That's the only reason that was fathomable for the restart tokens being lowered because they shorten the event.
I got a real problem with that.
Me too.
I do too.
I mean, I'm okay, but you know, a lot of my clan, okay, I'm more than willing once I get my part of the event done to go hit bases and let my clan build up. Okay, I'll give them bases. I'll do whatever I got to do to help my clan. But this crap, I mean, all you're doing is cutting the amount of players that can get another restart token down, and therefore they don't have to run their servers as much.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Okay? You know, it's just the way it is.
I mean, if a player is struggling that bad, they can't. I mean, I have argued against this reset token since the bloody thing came out. I hate the idea. And the only reason that they put it in is to stop people from when they remove the C wave, when they remove the A, B, and C tiers.
Mm-hmm.
People still want back. Because you could go and grind out 300 times through tier C, get a bunch of XP, get a bunch of units, and be good.
Yep.
You could grind out tier B for minimal repairs, and you could do that the 300 times, get a fair amount of XP, get everything you wanted, and not have to deal with the bullshit that is in the highest tier.
Mm-hmm.
Even putting it at 3/4 of the way through the event, I still have a problem with. Because there are still players out there who couldn't hit that high.
Yep.
Halfway through, and they're missing the one faction track. If it was doable, then great. And people would help them out if they could. But if they couldn't, they were stuck. And after 2 resets, and getting now, I worked this out during the last event because I specifically went through 3/4 of the main track and 3/4 of the faction track to try and figure out just how much XP you'd gain. And it was less than 1/3 of the total XP for the entire event. It was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I was disgusted by it at the end of it.
Yeah, and that's when we noted that, they said it wasn't a necessity to do the faction tracks, and I was like, no, it is. And then they said, well, you don't have to do that final wave, and we noted that's 1/3 of the entire event's XP structure lies on one single base,
which is stupid.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you're short on time, if you're short on time to play the event, you kind of have to.
That's why I like the 4 restarts at the beginning, because I mean, especially over the last few months with everything that's been going on in my personal life, I'm lucky if I can get a couple of 3 days of the event, and with the 4 restarts at the 4, I can go up until where I don't have any repairs or I get minimal repairs. I can restart, and I still got decent XP and was still able to get some decent prizes out of the game. This last one, I got crap all. I had 2 days to play, and I didn't get shit for XP.
Yeah, well, think of it in generalities. We're in a holiday season. We have Thanksgiving and Christmas back to back, and New Year's coming up. So you have expenditures to go do things with family, collect family, go to other people's homes to meet up, if you do such. You personally, you had moving that you were going through, resetting your new home, dealing with all of that, rigmarole. People still have their day-to-day jobs. They have kids in school. Again, you got holiday season, so you got kids crap to deal with. You know what I mean? So these factors were not taken into consideration in the grand scale that I think they should have been.
Right.
When they came up with this.
If they were going to make this change, I really would have wished they would have waited till after the first of the year, knowing that they're going to have the November event over Thanksgiving and the December event over Christmas. Because they have not, I know that there's a lot of people that play the game that do not celebrate either holiday.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's fine, and that's cool. And I know that maybe they have the time to play, but I still think that it was really inconsiderate.
Oh, they might have the time to play, but I don't.
Well, my plus is even for the families that don't celebrate, the general understanding, and I even for families who don't have children, but if you do have children, you have those things with the kids coming out of school for their winter recesses and their breaks. You know, as you have businesses that cater to those particular clientele. So you have businesses that now ramp you up and require you to get more tasks done at work to cope with the sales during the Thanksgiving, Christmas holiday season, liquor sales during Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Eve. You know, all these things. It's not just you personally feeling the direct effects of the holidays, but your job might have the effect of the holidays, putting more strain on you. You can't have seat time to play, or your family issues, or, you know, family responsibilities, or your neighbors invite you over for something, or you go to maybe you win the fucking radio station giveaway and have a Tahitian holiday, and guess what? It's a Thanksgiving holiday vacation ticket. So now you're off doing that. I'm not going to sit here and play fucking War Commander if I got a free trip to Tahiti. For, you know,
I wouldn't play fucking War Commander if there was a free trip to Tahiti. I'd be on a goddamn beach somewhere, drinking a goddamn
mojito.
Girly cocktail.
The only
I guarantee you, they don't serve beer in Tahiti.
Oh,
I probably won't be playing War Commander during the holiday.
But you're exactly right, Venom. Because in my case, you know, for work, I'm in health insurance. So right now, I'm working 60 hours a week. I don't have time to mess with this game. I have time to come on and farm farm some res and do some upgrades, and that's about the extent. I don't have time over Christmas.
And you still have the added luxury of actually working from home for the most part. Add into the person who has to commute, 2 hours a day to the office and then 2 hours home, or what have you.
Right, exactly. I mean, exactly. I walk 14 steps upstairs to go to my office to go to work, but I'm still sitting here, and I also have the luxury that I can pull my personal computer up, and when work is slow, I can play.
Yeah, but still, you have obligations to go through your daily routine for the money that Kixeye is trying to pull out of your wallet in the first place.
Yeah, well, kiss my ass, because I've made a whole bunch of freaking money this season, and they ain't getting one dime of it. That's
good on you.
That's going for 3 vacations next year. Florida, Florida, Tennessee, and I'm not sure where the other one is yet.
Should I pack flip flops and swimming trunks?
Yeah, baby, do it. I'm going to Florida in March, and I'll see you fuckers when I get. I told somebody today, I might not come back. I'm going to the beach.
I know. I'm going
to Daytona for Bike Week, so maybe I'll just find me some crazy biker and get on the back and see ya.
Nice.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do. But back into the line of things. To wrap this bit up, the last few points that I have on my list are items that are in the XP track are either overpriced or just too expensive. The trophy thing is still going to be a thing, and they're locking that trophy behind that last mission.
Yep.
Good.
Which still pisses me off.
Agreed.
I will defeat the entire event, and I will not get that fucking trophy.
I'll be the one doing that.
Exactly what I did the last time. I did the event the whole way through. I'm not going to spend the XP on something that I should have earned when I completed that event in the first place. If they want to make it a valuable thing, then when I've completed the full event, I get it in my buildings.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that fucking crap of, okay, it's valuable. You've given yourself the chance to now spend money to get it.
Yeah, see, I agree. I think that's ridiculous. If you're going to go through the whole event and unlock this stupid thing, then just give it to you. Don't make you spend 800K XP
on top.
Yeah, that's called kiss my ass.
If that's the case, then they can go back to that bullshit they pulled. Was it 4 or 5 events ago where the fucking trophy was 1 million fucking points?
1.4 million. Yes, I remember that.
So there you go. So fucking charge me 1.4 million XP for it, and don't wait to unlock it. As soon as I get the 1.4 million, I'll fucking buy it. I'll just grind the first 3 tiers. The first 3 things over and over and over, and I'll earn the XP, and I'll fucking buy it.
No, you can't, because now they've reduced the restart tokens.
Well,
You can grind the first 3/4 of the event a whole bunch of times without grinding the end.
Yeah, there's my 3.
They increased it back to 4. The restart tokens are back to 4.
Yes, he did say
I haven't got to the notes yet, and that's not in my list of things. So shut up, David.
Oh,
no, he mentioned
when we're done.
Let's get back to the topic.
Okay, back to topic.
He dusted over the Draken, which I still don't like. The last thing on my list for a couple of things is really weak to the War Dog, maintain maximum range for the Draken, and clear use cases. You can screw it up. People can play against you, the kind of strategy that they want. And the new unit can't attack at all.
It
has a damage of 0. It does no damage at all.
I like it.
That's the final.
Hold on. Don't like it until you find out what its health is. Until we get the understanding
of what its health is, but I've heard what its health is, and I like it.
Yeah, but until I know from I've heard it doesn't ever die. How's that?
You heard bloody wrong. Let me tell you that.
I'll repeat what I said before. I like it.
Yeah. Okay. My point being, until I know exactly.
We don't do speculation.
In-game, yes.
Speculation is not welcome here. Unless you can provide concrete evidence, I don't want to fucking know about it.
Precisely. But like I said, until I see exactly what in game it's, I like the overall concept. Okay. But until I have to play with it.
But speaking of the brand new unit and the brand new stuff, well, go ahead and jump right into the espionage briefing right here. And of course, Vercraft is after the main thorium vein that runs deep beneath the sector, and the volatility of such vein. I hate that fucking word. And we need to stop it. Hey, espionage contains 2 tracks, both the main track and the corpus track. The mission prizes have been adjusted to feel more rewarding, ironically. Excuse me. Replay tokens have been increased from. I had a big lunch, and it's coming back.
What did you have for lunch?
It was big.
What was it?
A 40-ounce.
We don't want to know what Phil had for lunch. Let's just go on to finish.
That's a good steak.
You know, you're cutting him off from actually admitting that you were right, David. You know, he's trying.
Shut up.
read the text.
I know.
Initial replay tokens have been increased from 2 to 4.
Woohoo!
That is in the briefing. It's not in my notes.
Fuck you, David.
And fuck you, David. No.
Fuck you all.
My notes were not wrong.
I love you, David. Don't you say fuck you to me.
No, not to you, though, but to Doc.
My particular set of... Will you shut up for a second?
Yes, sir.
God damn it. That particular sheet of notes was specifically designed for Burnys' briefing room. My other sheet of notes has the token on it.
Okay.
I have a lot of notes before I even do a show. So there's that.
I have a lot of notes before we do a show.
Shut up. Keep an eye out for the new caretaker unit and the single-use hero, Polly. I'm going to stop for a second and elaborate on this fucking name. Does Polly want a cracker? Does Wally Pont? Does Wally Pont? Does Polly want a dozen crackers?
All right.
Doc want a pint.
If you ever make a platoon of Pollies, you have to call them Wally Ponts.
Why?
I'm going to call my Stocky Howlers.
I've had some flops on this show before. I think that is probably one of the worst flops I've ever made.
No, I like it. It flows.
It flows almost as well as something else.
Shut up, Phil.
Battery's not included.
All right. Back on. Polly is a deployable single-use hero unit who is obtainable in Operation Espionage main track. She is 25 to 50% more durable and charges up much faster than a standard Cyclops. Polly also comes equipped with stealth beginning at level 1 as opposed to level 10 for the standard Cyclops. And since it's a single-use, it comes with 1 level. There's no upgrade. So it's going to be level 1 regardless. Well done fucking that one up. The faction is a Corpus faction. It is Generation 2. It is single use for the moment. and it's a hero Cyclops. More durable than the standard Cyclops, charges up in 5 seconds, and utilizes stealth beginning at level 1. Polly's improved durability and charge up time makes her a true powerhouse on the battlefield. Use her to take down high HP ground targets. Stealth lets you efficiently sneak in, vanquish high priority targets. Let us know what you think about Polly in the official discussion thread. Polly is a single-use hero, that meaning once she is deployed, she cannot retreat or be used again. This means you don't have to worry about repairs. Well, just deploy Polly, watch her unleash, asterisk, 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 then unlock more of her for additional use later on. I'm assuming that word is hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they really need to fix the censorship onto the vanilla forum real soon. Because seeing half a dozen asterisks where I would say damn or hell, because I use those words quite a bit, as well as fuck, shit, bollocks, and cunt.
You can't even say screw. So if you want to try to explain to someone how to fix, I don't know, a cabinet, and you have to tell them you've got to screw the screw in, it would just be completely blank.
The don't worry about it. Fell out of my mouse. How do I fix this?
You can't say that. You can't say that. That's illegal in forums.
Oh, there are a few even funnier ones that go into the censorship throughout the forums itself. Abo is another one.
Can't say Abo?
No.
That's racist.
It is, but you can't say it. But it's only racist if you're Australian.
Exactly, that's racist.
Okay, so we move on to the Caretaker. I have to say, that is the ugliest motherfucker I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, no, isn't that from the build? Basically, they took the building.
It looks like something from Battlestar Galactica, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but it resembles something I remember from before.
I do like Battlestar Galactica, but that's not the point.
Anyway,
we'll go into the description. The Caretaker is a heavy support vehicle that redirects damage taken from ground units to itself, allowing them to survive significantly longer. Use multiple Caretakers in a platoon to divide the damage taken between them for an even longer sustained protection. The Caretaker does not deal any damage itself.
It's an absorption turret tank.
It's fucking sexy. That's what it is.
Just bear with me. It is Sentinel. It is Generation 2. It says standard class. It has no class. You might as well call it Gold Button. I mean, I shit you not. That has to be. I mean, we all use tanks. We all have tanking unit, Adra, Roland, mega tanks back in the day, coming up to everything. We all have tanking units. Mm-hmm. But that has to be the stupidest fucking thing I have ever seen in my life.
Really? It would have been better if it would have been better if it didn't have tracks. It doesn't look like it should have tracks. It looks like it should have 4 wheels.
It's a freaking absorption turret on a freaking tank.
Exactly.
But it doesn't resemble the absorption turret. Is the bad? If they just took the absorption turret
at some point, I will go and find out. I will go and pick out an old image of what we used to call a tactical protection field from way back when, Battle Pirate style, where you actually put a field on a unit, or rather on a ship at this point, that you could actually fit weapons to, or drones, and it was useful. This just is nothing more than a coin generator.
Yep.
It really shocks you, doesn't it?
It both shocks and annoys me, because that's nothing more than a coin generator.
Really?
I mean, I can see uses for it, but if the only thing it does is take damage,
that's awesome though.
What's the fucking point?
You'll see the points. The only thing that shocked me more than this unit are the howlers.
Now, the Howlers, I loved.
Oh, I get no. You got to read between the lines of what this son of a bitch is saying, and I think I'm going to piss myself laughing at what he's alluding to. True.
Please tell me.
It went right over Phil's head.
I've completely
okay. No, I will not let you miss the plot. I will say this. I will give Peel the benefit of the doubt. Should I tell him now on the air, or should I wait till after the show?
You can tell him now.
Oh no, you're not going to.
When he's saying
you're going to tell me now, so
what he's alluding to is units that are fired upon, the effect, i.e., shock, would be redirected to the unit and not to the unit being fired upon.
Oh no, that's not what I'm talking about.
That's what I thought you were getting at.
No, I was making a Shocky Howler joke.
Well, I understand the Shocky Howler joke, and I understand the reference to the Shocky Howler joke now.
Would status effects be redirected along with damage?
I would assume they would.
According to the picture, no.
Oh, really?
Okay, well, yeah, because the guy's still got fire illuminating over top of him.
However, he's not taking damage from the effect. The Caretaker is, because it's within the aura of the stupid looking...
All right, well, that's good then.
If it's anything like the absorption turrets themselves, then they will take the effect.
No, but
like shock effect, for example, they might take the shock effect.
There's no fucking point in shocking it. The thing doesn't have any goddamn weapons.
I know.
No, what we were talking about is if you had howlers with him, or if you had something with him, and shock was trying to be applied on the other units, it would get shocked, and the other units wouldn't, so they could continue to fire.
Exactly, just like the absorption turret takes the shock for whatever it's absorbing.
So instead of your avalanche getting shut down, it continues to fire while the absorption turret suffers.
Yes.
We'll go into the attributes now before I go absolutely batshit crazy.
Well, that's not
Shut up. Of course, Sentinel Gen 2 standard class, even though it doesn't have one. But it provides a protective aura to nearby units, redirecting damage taken to the Caretaker. Multiple Caretakers near each other divide damage taken equally between them. You can have between 8 and 10 max in a platoon.
So what would a platoon of these things be worth? Just 10 of them. Just 10 of them on the battlefield doing nothing.
Pretty much.
It's going to be 68 gold to repair the whole plat.
Here's a cute idea.
No,
wait. Here's a cute idea. What if you surrounded your base with these? You could not be attacked.
Woohoo!
You would be attacked. I'd just smash you with air.
You couldn't hit my base.
They
could not get to my base.
They divide the damage between all of the units that you had on your base. It would take fucking forever.
No, I think he's talking about external platoons.
On the map, if I surround my base with these suckers, you can't get to my base.
No, they can be destroyed.
That's an interesting concept.
They can still be destroyed.
No,
it's just going to take.
They can be destroyed, but
wait, if you're hitting, okay, there's 10 of them, and you hit. We'll count them off. Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3. So you're attacking Unit 1. It divides the damage that Unit 1's supposed to be taking amongst the other 9. So then it takes forever to kill that one. Then you have to attack Unit 2 of 9 because you've already destroyed one of the 10. So you're attacking 2 of 9, which then its damage. Then oh my Jesus Christ! It could take.
By then the attack time. By then you've used your 6 minutes and you're re-attacking. Oh my God!
Then the guy that surrounded his base with these fucking things will just be sit there giggling at himself while he retreats the platoon and then deploys it again back outside, so you can't get into his base.
Exactly. And what was that unit we had back when that they had to withdraw? Here you go. Here's another one.
Yeah, that was the dropship thing.
This thing is going to be the most. Not only is it annoying as buggery. Hang on a minute. I know what this fucking unit is. It's Fear the Peel. It's nothing more than a troll on wheels.
And they're going to have more than one to
My
counteract it.
unit.
Yeah.
Finally made my unit.
Yeah. Do you know what the immortal one's going to be? It's going to be the hero version of that.
Does not take damage, is immune to all status effects, and divides damage amongst other units.
Yeah. I
And
don't
is
take any damage.
And is invisible.
It's invisible.
You can surround your base with that, and you're close. I mean, good Lord.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Where were we?
And in about 3 weeks, you're going to go, "Oh, sorry, we're pulling this unit due to."
The immortal one
Unshackled did it again. Nah, it'd be hilarious. Unshackled did it again. Just proved another one of their brainstorms.
The unit hasn't even been released yet, and we've already.
We don't know it's going to function that way. We don't know it's going to function that way. With drop ships, when it came in, and I said what I said, and we said what we said, and we attempted it, and Shadow Killer and all, we went through it, and we found out that what we had said was absolutely true. Wait until this unit is actually put out, and then we'll see if it reacts the way we
break it.
Well, yeah. But I will say this. This unit in with other units does pose great benefits. Even put in with platoons of our zombies or our single-use zombies. If the zombies take damage and it redirects it to this,
I see a use for this already.
Those rocket zombies in people's external base platoons. You're offline. Saying it'll help you. People are already crying when they lose their juggernauts and their howlers and all the other shit.
To the crazy zombie platoons.
To the crazy zombie platoons, they lose their blackouts, they lose whatever. Now you put this in there to make those platoons last even longer.
I have a funny feeling that as soon as I get one of these, I'm going to be building one.
Yep, I have a feeling I'm going to be doing the same thing.
Scrap a whole bunch of shit to make room.
Armory.
I took some time out of my schedule to actually start putting in my armory.
The only reason I'm going to play the event is to get these units.
Yep.
It's slightly slower than the Purifier and has more health than the Purifier. I don't know in which level concern that would be. Is it higher than
as it scales?
10? The scale would be appropriate for it. And at level 10, the Caretaker gains Crusade. Crusade grants armored up mode, similar to the Growler, greatly reducing damage for a short time after it first takes damage. So this is going to start. In fact, I'm going to throw it out now. It's going to go in my Jug platoon. It's going to go in with my Jug and my Ardra, and we'll be deployed alongside of each other.
Yeah. Now, Jason in the YouTube chat brought up an interesting thought. What about the 150 bases after the event, and how are we going to do those if these are 0 damage units? I'm like, I don't know.
We're going to have to think about that.
With great difficulty.
Exactly how that's going to be very interesting.
Missiles.
It's going to be a bump and grind fest.
No, they say that to put the Bastion in.
Yeah, they'll put a Bastion in so you can't use missiles. So
and they'll load the towers with libs.
Yep.
That's the only logical recourse for this unit being what it is. The only way to take out the 150 for the base after the event would be to use missiles.
Yeah.
And use the Crusader's attack.
That makes sense. It makes us go back to grinding thoriums and things. I'm sure Kixeye's analytics are showing that we're not doing that as much as we used to.
That's the only logical explanation that I have to tackle any 150 base that will drop. Because a unit that does 0 damage, it either means we're not getting a 150 base, or there's going to be some kind of jiggery fucking pokery. But the one thing we haven't seen for this unit yet is schematics. We haven't seen any tech. There's been no leaks of any tech. There's been no talk of any tech yet.
More reduced damage.
More reduced damage. And no, they'll give you the gold tech that you'll get maybe 1 out of 100 is one rifleman that sat on the top of the gun with a fucking BB gun.
It'll that actually would actually be a really good tech.
If you really want, if you really want to laugh, how about this for two separate tech? One that spawns little mite drones that are similar to it at death, or one that causes an explosion upon death.
Ultimate fucking troll.
Does give damage.
Ultimate fucking troll unit spawns more damage reduction units upon death.
Yeah, exactly. Spawns two duplicate mites.
Oh.
Don't die.
Oh,
I can't. I so can't. Oh yeah, I actually now I'm actually interested in playing the event a little more than I was, because I want at least a couple, 3 of these, and I want to go have some fun with them somewhere.
Oh, I want a lot of them.
Well, I don't have time for a lot of these because I've got to grind XP for the blackout.
Fuck the blackout damage instead of the caretaker. Oh god, no!
I want 6 of these around my base. Bring it.
Yep, me too.
All right, so we're going to the main track through the base defenses, which is the Thorium prize, a random Gen 1 unit, 2 random Gen 1 units, faction mission 1 unlock, 6 million Thorium, 1 of the poly units, a bronze cache, faction mission 2, 9 million Thorium, 1 more poly, the silver cache, faction mission 3 unlock, 12 million Thorium, poly, the gold cache, and faction mission 4 unlock. The total main track XP I have over here is 790,000 XP for that, with all the defense waves. 648 without the defense waves. Prize details: 3 Corpus Tech, bronze, silver, or gold, 1 Corpus Tech, silver, or gold, and 3 Corpus Tech, Gen 1. All of that is going to be gold. Poly is a single-use hero, which we know about. And the Gen 1 units contains either 3 Spartan ZKs, 1 Apollo, 1 Fury, 1 Hades, or 1 Phalanx. Now, the faction track, these missions only become available and unlocked in the main track, which we already know. And, of course, 3 Gen 1 units for Mission 1, 3 training tokens at 3 Gen 1 training tokens. Now, I know these are Gen 1 because they've only offered Gen 1 units before, and they're going to be the same bloody things. Attack level 3 is what Gen 1 unit plus restart token. I'm assuming that's going to be, they're going to change that, because if they don't, because they've not done, they did this last month. It should be 1 caretaker, and mission 4 should be 3 caretakers. Because they pulled this shit last month. And if they pull this shit again, I'm going to be really pissed off. Because it should be 1 of the new units and not a single Gen 1.
Agree.
It's got to be because the very first wave you get 3 Gen 1 units.
The very first one you get 3. So I'm going to assume that's a typo and give him the benefit of the doubt.
Should be 2 caretakers and then 4 caretakers, or 2.
No.
God damn it! I don't want to have to do that last wave.
I don't want to have to do that last wave either, and I won't. Even if I have to go through the fucking missions a whole bunch of times to get as much shit as I want, I will refuse on principle to do the last mission. Even if it's easy, I will refuse to do it.
Like I say, I refuse to get the trophy. I'll do the event just to prove that I can, but I won't spend the XP on the trophy, even though the trophy unlock is earned. So,
yeah. And kiss my ass.
And of course, there's all this bullshit down here for the trophy. You know, the Veracraft Command Center building becomes unlocked in the event store after the end of the fucking event.
And why do they call it Command Center building? It's a fucking trailer.
I honestly
didn't even see the trophy. I heard it's ugly.
Bernie, I know you put those in last minute, but you really need to fix that. Yeah. And I'm just going to scroll down to the end. Because I'm not going to bother going over the prize list.
There's the trophy. Well,
no, the prize list is the prize. It's posted on the page, I believe. So if you want the prize list, it's out there.
On the page. We can go over it there because it's all done in glorious format by myself and Little Jesus. Yeah. Actually, Little Jesus put it out slightly differently to how it's put out now, and I asked him if I could go through it with him and put it in the proper format.
Yeah. And thank you, little Jesus, for doing that.
Love
was
the
very
color.
nice. No, one thing I'd like to bring up real quick, because this was something that came up in their little talk, Bernie and Mark Thinker's talk that Phil, you didn't touch on, but I'm going to touch on real quick, is the XP. From what Wrong Thinker said, they have lowered the XP for the first several waves, but they are giving out some sort of prices. The early missions are going to have more units but less XP.
Yeah, his explanation to this, and it's kind of disheartening, and I'm glad you brought this up, because it's a passive aggressive kick in the balls to lower units, lower level players. But their idea is this: I think he used Liberators or Spartans or something. Okay, he used Liberators as an example, and he said where in previous events his idea was to give better XP. Their idea with this is if a Liberator was, say, 10, I'm using a different number than he brought up, but if a Liberator, I think he did use. So if a Liberator is worth 25,000 XP in the store,
which it is.
Okay, so his statement was for passing the wave, they were going to give you 3 of the Liberators. So in essence, you're getting 75,000 XP.
Exactly. Yep. And that's exactly the numbers that he used.
Yeah. But that's see, now you're proving that I actually watched the damn thing. But that you know, it's understandable and it's commendable and it's rational, but it's not exactly
fair.
My cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea.
And I don't think it's fair either, because I mean, like you said, Ben, I kind of understand why he's doing it, to try to help some of the lower levels, blah blah blah. But at the same time, why not just make those tiers slightly easier? I mean, you know, everybody's going to say, well, you high levels will farm them. Well, you know what? I'm going to farm them anyway. Because that's the only time I'm going to have. So I'm going to farm them anyway.
Why not have both?
Yeah, this is not a slight against Wrong Thinker.
No, not at all.
I actually agree with the decision.
He's justifying a screw job, in my opinion.
It's not a screw job. From a development standpoint. Now, this is
from a development standpoint, I respect.
You can hate me for it afterwards when I'm finished, but I agree with his standpoint, because if you're going through the low-level tiers and you can only do the low-level tiers, what are you going after? You're generally going after units that you want to use, either libs, Spartans, phalanx, whatever.
True.
And at the low-end tiers, what are you going to get? Libs, Spartans, phalanx, whatever.
Right.
Well, this particular event, it's Corpus, so it's Spartans and Furies and Phalanx and Hades. And I think I missed one, Apollo, but the Apollo just isn't worth doing at the moment unless you're going to infantry hunting.
What do you mean at this moment?
Shut up.
I heard your last time when you said Apollos was
Make
shit.
Apollos great again. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, make Apollos. Yeah.
Again?
I kind of liked them when they first came out.
Bill, just keep eating your chicken.
Yeah. But the other thing too, and this was something else, because the last tier of the I believe, what was it? The faction unit had, what was it, an extra 300,000 XP.
300K.
And I don't know if that's the right number, and I apologize if it's not, because I don't go that far. But apparently they're also taking some of that away as well and distributing it within the event.
Yes.
To give us higher XP on some of the other things.
They've increased some of the XP further down in the track. I think probably after Faction 2, because some of these are slightly higher than they were last month, because I compared the XP last month to the XP this month, and the XP in total is 200,000 XP higher than last event. The last event was 900. This one is 1.16. So you will get more XP, and you won't waste a third of it in that last wave. Only 200K is done. And I've got it without the defense waves, and with the defense waves, the faction track in a separation. So you know what you're looking at, and you know what you're looking for. I could do it with and without the last wave, but I can't be fucked to do that.
Okay,
It takes
all right.
too goddamn long, and we can work it out tomorrow while we're doing the event, because I'll do the event the same way as I did last month. I will go 3/4 of the way through the main track, and I will go 3/4 of the way through the faction track. See how much it costs, see what the damage is, and see how much XP I get, and whether or not this event is better than the last one. I think a kick in the balls is better than fucking the last event, to be perfectly honest. But
I don't have balls, and I agree.
the only
anyway.
changes to the event price store that I can see through all this is, of course, the trophy, the caretakers, the tokens, the blackout parts that have just come in, the elite blackout parts 1 and ×4, and the brand new draining coil for the blackout.
Yeah.
And I have to scroll all the way fucking down to find it. But what it does is, it has 6 levels to it, and the functionality increases the low power effect duration of all the way up to 25% at maximum level. So that's a thing. So that's the newest tech, and of course, did somebody steal?
I told you
that
it's a trailer.
Did somebody steal that from a football stadium or something? Because
It looks like crowd lights. No, that's exactly what it is. It looks like the crowd, like the toe behind nightlight systems. You know, it's stupid. It's the fucking trailer.
It looks like somebody stole the lighting rig. And I'm quite glad that that's 800k XP, and I'm quite glad that's stuck behind the final wave, because I won't I don't like the look of that one tiny fucking bit.
They have to give a nice Winnebago trophy that you can tow this thing behind. Trailer trash 101.
Oh God, stop.
A little pool, one of those little children's pools.
Have you got a guy sitting on a paint tin singing country music?
Hell yeah, with a fucking banjo.
With a fucking ukulele.
Our ukulele's Hawaiian.
Okay, all right.
We're gonna be doing the ukulele.
But
How about they make a didgeridoo? A didgeridoo.
Before we head up and we wrap up and we do some last comments about the prize list, they have made changes to the Omega base itself. The Omega blackout base has appeared, and this is I have to do something I hate to do and agree with David. It is bullshit. 7 parts once per event, 5 parts 2 per event, 3 parts 5 per event, and 1 part for the rest. So that's 50, that's 25, and that's 39 parts.
I got to say one thing. This is going to make people, either coin so they can grind them out, which is what I think Kixeye is hoping, or B, it's going to piss a lot of people off.
We worked it out.
They're not going to do it.
If you want all 80 parts, you have to do 56 bases.
Fuck that.
That's only if you get all of the parts that you're getting there, the 3, the 5, and the 7.
Mm-hmm.
A random number generator does it all.
The random number Jesus strikes again. I've stopped calling it a random number generator because it isn't a random number generator. You have to have some kind of godly fucking powers to figure this shit out. So from this point on, the random number generator is the random number Jesus.
Now, hang on. If it guaranteed you 7, 5, 5, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay. But if it's not going to guarantee that in that order, fuck off.
Then you fuck.
It's like hitting the elite bases usually. You get a 5, you get a 3, and you get a 2. And then 1, 1, 1 for however many weeks until you unlock the elite unit. But until you hit the whatever, and then you're there, you're done. You're done at the end of it. Once you hit that threshold, you're stuck at getting 1 part. But because Kixeye is Kixeye, you're going to get shafted the entire way through. You could get 40 level 1. You could hit 40 bases and get 1 part. I got none of these.
I got a report quick. How many commanders in here have ever hit the max jump streak? I've never hit it.
I've gotten a couple of 7-parters.
When I was doing Omega Herald bases, I got 7 parts like 3 times.
When I was doing Omega jug bases, I've had 7 parts on the jug.
And now if you do all the Omega bases or the Elite bases, it's either 2 or 1. That's it. That's all you're getting.
It was 2 and 1 for the Herald in the Elite base. That was horrendous.
Yeah, that's bullshit. And that's bullshit.
They must have
flag on 5, 3, and 1 for the Blackout.
I've never gotten 7. I've never gotten max ever. They got to have flag on my account or whatever, but never.
It's you. What you need is the random number Jesus.
Yep.
Pretty sure everyone's paying out more like computer code.
No, motherfuckers.
0 1 1 1 1 0 1 1 0 0 1 1.
Yeah. Are you producing the?
I think your binary
out of this.
I think your binary code just spelled out a dirty joke.
It probably did.
Oh,
Lonnie put it in the chat. Got 1 part in 80 bases, so 56 sounds nice. 56. I'm only working on the number 56. If you're guaranteed to get a 7, a 5, a 3, the 1, 2, and 5 times. 56 is an arbitrary number. You could end up doing 80 bases and get 1 part and get fucked like you did with the Phantom base.
Yep,
Still
exactly.
I honestly
better than Sandstorm.
Oh, don't know. The Sandstorm for me, I got lucky.
I did not. I did all
lucky.
120 fucking bases.
I'm thinking of the Bender time code thing. 0011100.
Yeah, I was thinking of the Bender time code thing myself. But any quick comments from the panel before we wrap this shit up?
Nope.
About anything specifically?
Specifically War Commander related.
As Doc would say, this blackout payout is bollocks.
Yep.
You actually pronounced it right. Well done.
Woohoo.
Bugger all.
I'd rather say
enough.
piss off.
Yeah, I would say piss off.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty sure you'd say piss off, Bill End.
I'm not from the South.
Oh.
No, he would say piss off numpty.
No, I'd say piss off shit, dick.
Lib noodle.
Okay. All right.
Goddamn monkey ass piece of shit.
Carry on.
Sorry. I get roped into that. A friend of mine did that. And, he actually did the pissed off white trash redneck guy. A friend of mine did that at a Comic-Con quite recently, and it was the funniest thing I've ever done in my life.
I saw the video.
All he did was walk around all day with a sign saying they took our gerbs. It wasn't jobs, it was gerbs.
Gerbs.
Gerbs. Gerbs.
Gerbs.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll throw some shout outs out there and we'll get this bitch wrapped up. So, David, have you got any shout outs real quick?
Sure, why not? Let's do this and do this the right way. Thank everybody on the panel for showing up. Thank you, Doc, for putting on this show. Everybody out in YouTube land for watching us and putting up with us for over 2 hours. Everybody that will be watching this later. So, with that being said, Doc, you got the name of your new ship? Because I'm a bitch.
Yeah, you are. But somebody already beat you.
Who?
I can't tell you that. That's classified information.
Yeah, right. That one doesn't count. That one does not count because he said it doesn't count.
You weren't on at the end of the fucking show.
God damn it! Whoever it is, fuck you.
Oh.
Yes, I was, unless you bring it up again. Anyway, with that being said, Merry Christmas to all. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. And for all those that don't want to say it, happy fucking holidays.
And a Merry fucking Christmas, you silly noob.
I'll do that one. DJ, have you got any shout outs, buddy?
I would. First of all, Dr. Phil and the panel, thank you for a wonderful show. This is the best one I've been around for in a long time. To YouTube and all the visitors that will watch this later, thank you guys for coming out. To Hell's Nights 108, you guys rock. And to Skipjack, we miss you. And the best thing of all is Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Y'all take care.
Excellent stuff. Peel, you got any shout outs, buddy?
Yep. Shout out to the noobs that think hitting my base is somehow going to hurt me. I love you guys. Keep coming. Keep crying for me. I love it.
Lady Warrior, have you got any shout-outs, Del?
Oh, let's see. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to you, Dr. Phil. Shout out to everybody out there in YouTube land that watched this. We appreciate you making us the #1 best show out there for War Commander. And we will always be the #1 best show out there for War Commander. I'll just finish up this and tell everyone, I believe, Dr. Phil, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is our last Wednesday show until the 10th of January. Is that correct?
It will be, yes.
Okay, so based on that, I will see everyone in a couple weeks. Have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, Happy Holidays to all of you that don't celebrate, and best wishes to all of you out there in the world of War Commander. Take care, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Ben, have you got any shout-outs, buddy?
Yeah, I'm disturbed that you don't actually care about my holiday, but all right. So to all those
What
out
is your
in
holiday?
What is your holiday?
I enjoy a good wassail, and I follow a wassail. You need to learn what wassels are.
So,
you'll learn. Look it up. And,
So I should say
I want to wish
Hanukkah?
everyone a happy Festivus.
Festivus? Okay, well, I do apologize. Happy
Fucking
Festivus
hippie.
then, my darling.
No, that's a stupid holiday from Seinfeld. But no,
Whatever, just do it.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Kwanzaa, and whatever festivals that you celebrate in whatever land you come from, because this is a global international game. So blessings be all. Enjoy your holiday with friends and family. Be safe, and thank you all for tuning in with this ragtag group of psychopaths.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this new no damage unit to come out, and we'll see exactly what we end up with. So, looking forward to that. Take care. That's me.
All righty.
Phil, don't give up your day job.
Okay.
My day job is Pokemon hunting.
Shut up. That's my one goddamn show, and the whole fucking shit goes.
I got to make up for all the shows I missed.
Oh,
true.
yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please, your attention. Tomorrow will be the live event show. I plan to approximately go live between 12:30 and 1 p.m. EST, which is Eastern Time. That would approximately be 5:30 p.m. GMT. That would be 9:30 PST, which would be Kixeye time. So there is that. And as Lady Warrior did say, this is the final Wednesday show of the year. There may be other shows in between. I plan to pretty much give everyone the Christmas break to bugger off, be with your families, enjoy your holidays, whatever, and wherever you celebrate. Oh, bloody hell. And yeah, that's pretty much basically that. I plan this for until we could come back January 3rd, but that's far too soon. And I mean, I don't start work again until the week after, so I'm not fucking coming back on the 3rd for a bloody show. So we're having a 2-week break from from today, which is the 20th, up until the 10th of January. So there is that. If anything pops up in the meantime, of course, there may be weekend shows, hangouts, roundtables, the usual stuff with Venom and Dutch. And maybe myself, if I'm sober enough after Christmas, because it is the Christmas period, and it's eat, drink, and get wrecked. So there is also that. So to myself, my panel, to all the guys on the YouTube, thank you very much for watching. This has been War Commander Unshackled. Hope you all have a very Merry Christmas, and to all, a good night.